This is your announcer, Shannon Saint Mainframe, welcoming you to our IP Livecast. Rob, Sid and Darren. May the 4th be with you. And by 4th I mean me, as 4th Mike. Come on, I have so much more to offer. You know you want to hear my take on Vince Neil's vocals. Spoiler alert. I think they're great. Wait. Don't unplug me. Our IP Livecast starts now.
You're out of the family.
She's no Sean.
No.
I guess he was fifth Mike.
No,
Yeah.
he's a no-show.
That's
Welcome to RIP Livecast, folks. It's Rob, here with Sid and 3D,
Hello.
Dangerous, Durinsky, Delgado.
sure.
It is a pleasure to be with you on this Saturday, the 4th of May. 4th of May be with you. That's how it goes, right?
Sure.
Yes.
And we're commemorating this day by talking a bit about Vince Neil. Who would fit right in the Star Wars universe, wouldn't he?
What side would he be on? Who would he be? Would he be like a droid? What would Vince Neil be in the Star Wars universe?
He'd be a Jawa.
He would be one of the Hutts.
Okay.
I guess.
He wouldn't be in the band? In the canteen band? Cantina?
No,
Whatever.
because they're on key, Sid, when they play.
Maybe he drives one of them to get some booze and crashes the X-Wing and
He would drive an X-Wing Zamboni.
Well,
you saw Zamboni in the wild this week, right, Rob?
Oh, that wasn't. I just saw that on Twitter.
Oh,
Just
God damn it! I thought you
rolling
posted it
down
as if it was
DeKalb
your own
Avenue.
video. Thumbs down.
Nah.
No. I don't know what to tell you.
Stolen video
In-
valor.
Engagement bait.
Oh,
Engaged.
I meant to ask you a question. Have you ever been in public and looked over someone's shoulder at their phone and they were texting something about you?
Oh shit!
I had
No.
that-
Not about me.
Oh no! What happened?
I went to work at this site, which is like I was doing a beach volleyball game, and it's like a bar. It's like a bar, but it's just the theme of the bar is that it's a big open backyard. You're in somebody's rich person's backyard, and there's a big open bar, and there's like a place to play volleyball on the sand. And then there's just like, all these other, they have like skee ball and like cornhole and all that stuff. It's like you're at somebody's house that's throwing a big party, but it's a bar. So I get there, I'm supposed to work at like 1:00. And I got there at like 12:40, which is when I usually show up for that type of thing. But I see there's like a line wrapping around the corner. So I was like, well, I work here, today I work here.
Yeah.
I'm an employee. So I go to the front and the guy's like, you got to wait in the line. Sorry. And he's scanning everybody in with a wand and everything. And I'm like, I'm going to be late to work if I wait for this fucking line. He's like, you got to go on the line. I'm sorry. Even employees. I said, all right. So I go back there and I'm like, away. Finally, the line's moving. The line's fucking moving. Eventually, I'm like 5 people away from the line, the front of the line. And the guy starts, like, some people just roll up and they're like, oh, hey, I know you. Hey. And he lets them in. There's like 10 people going in front of me. So so there's a woman standing in front. She has a baby carriage, which apparently they let babies into this place.
God.
And she says, she's just standing there. And I go basically to her, but really I'm just talking into the air. And I go, it's a fucking chat and cut, from Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's a fucking chat and cut. And then she doesn't say anything. She ignores me. And then she starts typing on her phone. And I look down and says, this guy behind me is having a heart attack because he's trying to get in. And he just said, that's a fucking chat and cut. And then the other person responds with like 5 laughing emojis. So
Did you say anything about that, or
I debated it. I was like, I wanted to respond and go like, hey, I thought I was on your fucking side here. Like we're both getting chat and cutted here. But she
turned on you.
She threw me she threw me through the barbershop window.
She's a bar bootlicker, that lady. She just
yes,
whatever the security guard wants, she's game.
So and then I debated what are the ethics of this, because then I'm revealing a social infraction as well by having looked over her shoulder and read the phone message. So I didn't say anything, but I really felt betrayed by that. And also she said this is what pissed me off more. She said she wrote down he's muttering under his breath that it's a chat and cut. I definitely did not do that. I said it for her to hear because she was my ally. She was just the closest person. I didn't give a shit about her, but we were in this together. And then I did not mutter that shit under my breath. I said it quite audibly.
Could you recreate the scene?
What is she just doing this? It's not interesting to look at. It's
no, but how you said it, how you how you projected.
I said this is fucking chat and cut. I didn't yell it, but it was certainly audible.
Okay. So So I'm just trying to visualize the scene here. So you're behind her, though, right?
I was behind her.
She was alone. It was just her and her baby.
Her baby, yes.
And she had her back to you.
Yes. Well, she might have been angled 20 degrees. So she was mostly with her back to me, but maybe
right. So, but you were at most you were in her peripheral vision.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe because you didn't go, "Hey, lady with a baby," that was a chat and cut.
So you're defending her, is what you're saying?
No. And that is not what I'm saying. I am trying, as I did when the guitarist of Cannibal Corpse got arrested for breaking
devil's
advertising while under edited.
But that had none of your friends were in that story.
This is Rob's devil's advocate. No, I'm just trying to.
You want to give her the last benefit of the doubt possible.
I want to understand why she assumed you were muttering under your I know you as not a mutterer.
Yeah. No, I would say anyone who is not deaf would not, or partially deaf, would not construe that as muttering. And you can have my word on that.
Now, let me ask this. Did she, when you originally showed up and tried to go in front of the line because you worked there, did she see that?
She didn't apparently have very good faculty of her senses because she heard my clear audible statement as muttering. So maybe she has the same problem with seeing things. I don't know, but I didn't check whether she wasn't relevant to me at that point.
Okay.
So I didn't know.
But
I would say possibly not, because we were so far down that her space in line was down the fucking block at that point.
Because it seems like from what she texted that she knew the whole backstory, and that you had been trying to get in, and you're
that might have been because I was pacing around, in the spot in line, because I was I was tense about. I want to get. Do you want to be late to work because of some bullshit?
Were you in your referee garb at the time?
I had. Well, my referee garb for that is very cash because it's such a laid back setting that I just wear a polo shirt and it was a really hot day, but I was gonna say, did I wear shorts? I don't know, but I might wear cargo shorts. Or I wear a nice pair of casual dress pants.
Okay.
So she might have seen the pacing and might have been already kind of this person is in a mood.
Doesn't matter. When I hear that, and clearly she's a Larry David fan, to text that to her friend. I hear that, I'm immediately that person's friend.
That's a good point.
Same taste in television shows, and it's a situation we're both in. Read the fucking room, lady.
Was she was in front of you or behind you in line?
In front.
So how did she know you were pacing?
I don't know, because I was kind of moving
it's all
around.
Up in your business.
That was all theory. I don't know. I'm saying that might be why she, but I don't know. I'm doing what Rob does, but I'm not as good as it is.
Was she attractive?
She was not unattractive. She's not someone I would oh my God, I got to talk to this woman or something. Okay. But she wasn't hideous.
What was the age range that you would say she was in?
30 to 35. Maybe younger. She might have been an old 27. I don't know.
But she did not participate in the volleyball later on. She was not a contestant.
No, definitely not. But I was waiting for her to fucking come on that fucking court.
Would you? That's a conflict of interest. Then would you?
Yeah, I was just gonna say
impartial referee at that point.
Find another referee. Then you're gonna have a hard time here in Williamsburg.
There's another one, but he's at the back of the line. He's
waiting to get any pacing. He came later than I did. He's still on the line.
Wow.
And what was this facility? This was a bar? Like, what was
bar.
the? She was bringing her baby. Ugh.
Yeah, there were kids too. There were kids playing.
I guess this is a thing now.
Yeah, there were kids playing cornhole. There were don't say anything disgusting. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Williamsburg.
Ian Watkins was not playing this bar, but yeah, there were
then
kids.
are the cornhole.
The kids running all around.
And so there was. So wait, why was there a line then to card you, or to scan your for
Scan,
weapons?
and I had a gigantic referee backpack with all my shit in it for various sports, and the guy's like, so then he scans me. Oh, he didn't scan. Something went wrong with his scanner, and he starts patting me, and he gave me the whole fucking airport thing. He went up to my thigh.
Did you give him his number? Your number after?
He should have gave me his fucking number.
Did you comment to him when you got to the front of the line about letting those people cut?
Yes. And he's like, they were all together, bro. They were all together. They could go. I was like, so what? If I had a friend, my friend could just fucking walk up, and you're disrespecting all these people waiting. In
wait,
line.
so there were people already in the front of the line, and then more of their party showed up, and
yeah, it was like a chat and cut.
I thought they chat and cut with the bouncer. I
yes,
didn't realize
that's
were.
Also,
sorry. No, they chat and cutted with their friends, but that's still wrong. Though.
I see. So there was a party in front of you and the lady with the baby.
Not just one. There was like a series of those. That's why I was so angry.
There was multiple chat and cuts.
Multiple chat and cuts.
With the same party,
I would say three different parties, and then there was another non-chat and cut that he just knew and let them walk through too. But that happened after chaos. That happened after all this incidents that I just described.
And now, I don't like is there a backyard for you to do refereeing? Is this an outdoor?
There's a big sandbox pit that they play beach volleyball on. So it's like the simulated beach volleyball, not at the beach.
It's a league of some sort?
It's a league. They pay money to be in the league. And there's a whole bunch of these too. They're usually not in bars. Like they'll do it at either like there's some facility. There's another one in Queens that they have like a pit, and it's like they're all these millennial, not even millennial, Gen Z hangouts where these people like just go to pay money to go drink and play sports. So this is one of them.
Right. These would be what in our generations would be rec centers, but the budgets for those have all been slashed. Right. So now they have to be co-opted as bars.
Yes, it's the private sector now that took over this facility.
Yeah. That's fascinating, and I'm fascinated that there's like just this third party service of refs and umpires that you could call to officiate. It's very efficient. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, it has its ups and downs. We get paid way exorbitant rates because of that setup, but it's also annoying to be like an independent third party contractor, and then you have a problem with these fucking people. They'll never listen to you because you're not a part of their company. So. It's a whole thing. We could do I don't want to go all into that stuff.
What they need to do is turn it into an app. So anytime anyone
like an Uber
needs for a sporting event or like they're having a disagreement and just need a third party to come in and make the decision, you can just Uber yourself a referee or an arbitrator.
I wish my football flag was sitting right here. I would just fucking should get it for the show when I disagree with one or one of our stories, something foul in a story. Throw my flag on it.
You'd need like 18 flags per episode.
It's true. Imagine back in the old days when like Noah and Sean were on the show. I get carpal tunnel throwing the fucking flag.
You're just throwing at the flag to stop them playing footsie under the table.
It's true. My flag would have some substances on it. What were you going to say, Rob? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I can't get too mad about the chat cut because I feel personally, I am someone who has greatly benefited from the chat and cut, especially going to shows. There's long lines.
Right.
Do a chat and cut. Well, you spot someone that's already been waiting online.
As it turned out, like to me, if the chat and first of all, multiple ones really pissed me off. Like, all right, you let one in, I would probably roll my eyes, but like you let three. But here's the as it turned out, I was way madder about this woman texting about me than I was about the actual thing I was originally mad about. I completely forgot about the chat and cut at that point.
At that point, you should have just started like performing just to see how much she would keep reporting.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, I should. I didn't think of that. I was too mad.
You should have started. You should have gone overboard with the white knighting. This woman has her baby out
here. I need a team of
this
writers.
Is an outrage that you are making her wait as these non-breeders are just strolling in while this baby is out here getting way too much sunlight.
How can we perpetuate the white race? Let me not.
No.
Yeah. Like, we need more third places. This woman has to resort to bringing her child to a bar, and you're making her wait online.
Yeah, you're right. I should have said all of that. It didn't occur to me.
And is this a union bar?
Then I'll get the security guy on my side. And stop letting in these fucking chatting cutters.
Well, that's what I was going to say about the chat cut. It's a don't hate the player, hate the game scenario. I never blame the cutters. I blame the security for not
putting them
in their place.
If I was the chatting cutter, I would have been looking for any opportunity to fucking do that.
Yes.
It's not a morality issue. It's you got to shut that down if you're working there.
And also, he's a fucking stickler for the rules when you try to go in, but then everyone else, it's whatever happens. Like, that's absurd.
You know what this is? Anti-Semitism. Is that security guard Hamas?
Yeah, that's true. He scanned me like I was Hamas getting on a fucking JetBlue. The fuck out of here, filling up my joint.
Bunch of clowns in costumes.
Those are fucking clowns in costumes. I didn't have that queued up. Sorry. I got into my story. I didn't open up my sound app.
The way he said "fuck out of here" right now, it really inspired that for me.
I got it.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Bunch of fucking clowns in costumes.
So your original question, Darren, actually made me think of something that I don't think I can't remember if I've ever told this story on the show. Okay. And it's sort of a weird analog version of someone texting about me. It wasn't someone texting about me. I was on the subway one day. This was probably, I don't know, I was probably like in my late teens, early 20s when this happened. I'm on the subway. I'm sitting there. There's a dude sitting across from me for like most of the ride. Similar age to me, maybe a little bit older. So I'm probably like I said, 1920s, probably late 20s. And he's like sketching on a sketch pad or writing on a sketch pad, whatever. Mm-hmm. And like maybe half hour, 45 minutes into the subway ride, he looks at me and turns the sketch pad around. And it's a sketch of me.
Was it good?
Oh, no, this guy is
flattering.
I've had this happen to me, actually.
Well, how am I the only one that never got drawn? I want to be like Kate Winslet now.
No,
I feel like we have talked about this on the show.
Okay.
I've showed the photo of me. I don't know the one of you.
I didn't get a photo. This was before I had a camera phone. But I just didn't know how to react. I just looked at him and like, no. That was the end.
Whatever the fuck that is a great.
He didn't say anything. He didn't offer me the copy or contact info. It was really fucking weird.
Let me ask you this:
it's a different person then.
Let me ask you
this guy is notorious for just handing you the portrait that he draws of you.
Okay, I guess I don't go out enough. I never got fucking drawn on the train. That's another good point, by the way. Sid never leaves the house. He goes out one fucking time. He's got a fucking drawing.
Oh, no,
back in that day, I left the house quite often.
This was before he turned into the agoraphobe that he is today.
Yeah, listen, you hear the subway stories that I've got to share. You would too.
Well, here's my.
Someone drew a photo of me.
That's the nicest one. That's the nicest one.
Drew a photo of someone else. This is my question. All right, we've established the picture did not look like you. Was it a competent drawing of someone else, or just like a shitty like?
Yeah, no, it was like a competent drawing of me if I like was 40 pounds heavier and it was like a chode man.
So maybe that's
sure. Did somebody back you up that it didn't look like you, or did you just have?
I was by myself on the train. I did not have anyone.
Again, the fucking devil's advocate defending
you never know.
Shitty portraitist.
Listen, when I tell a story, I expect the exact same level of devil's advocacy as I am providing currently.
You seem to yell when we do that, but I'm just...
I yell regardless.
It's true.
I'm yelling right now.
Maybe to be devil's advocate, I'm misinterpreting your regular speech volume level as yelling. Yeah. So maybe that's this guy's thing: is he goes around drawing insulting pictures.
He's trying to start a fight.
Yeah, he's like he wants to do bum fights or something.
Was it this style?
No,
This was the one of
no.
me.
How long
Okay,
ago
so
was
this
this?
2006, it says.
This
Oh,
looks
wow.
like if you were in that episode of SpongeBob where you were handsome Squidward. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah.
You look
this-
sort of
I
like
think this is
Will
a-
Wheaton.
It's a very accurate representation of how I must have looked on the train at that moment because I had my hoodie up, my headphones
You never
on.
had such feminine lips. That is not Rob's mouth.
How dare you?
Darren, back me up. Rob never had such supple, soft, feminine lips. No, don't even
No.
pretend. Get out of here.
It's also hard because like Rob is clean shaven in that era. And
More
I can't
so,
even
yeah,
I can
but
almost not even picture his like I see old pictures of Rob and he has no
No.
facial hair and I'm like, who is that? You've had the beard for so long now.
Yeah. Dusty Rhodes
It's true.
Muffler is asking what other subway stories I have. Well, there was the time that an unhoused woman squatted down next to my seat and started pissing. There was the time that like some random party started happening on the subway car I was in that I just was too lazy or irritated to get up and move cars because I was like basically surrounded. I was the only person on the subway car that didn't get an invite to this party and nobody said anything to me. So I was just like, I'm going to stay in the seat till my stop. And a guy got up on the seat next to me and shoved a bouquet of flowers up his butthole.
What?
Yeah, I must have told this story on the show before.
How old were you here? What era?
This
of
was
New
when
York
we were
was
at Brooklyn
this?
College, so probably the same age as the other one, right around. All of this stuff happened in
Wow.
that era, in like my late teens, early 20s. A guy had a bouquet of flowers and he took the bottom end of it, like the stems, shoved it in his ass. And literally, I was close enough that the petals from the flowers were coming down and hitting me on my head.
And still, you were too lazy.
Correct. Because at that point, I was like, I'm in this. It's really uncomfortable now, but it's going to be a great story one day. So I'm just going to stay here until decal. And I was on the R train going from Union Square, I think, or maybe West 4th to decal with this, pretty much from stop one. And every stop, more people got on. They had like bongos. It was like I don't know if it was Hare Krishna or like people that just decided let's all dress up like Hare Krishnas so we can identify each other on the train for this party. It's really fucking weird.
I put Squidward versus handsome Squidward in our chat just so you can show the real Rob versus that drawing.
Let's see.
You got it, Rob?
Yeah.
There it is. That's
Yeah,
bottom
look,
is
the
Rob.
lip's totally different. It's exactly, you nailed it 100%.
How dare you?
Well, you're also not down to the level of Squidward either. You're a handsome man. but-
I don't know
Yeah,
which
no,
one
I-
is the handsome Squidward.
It's the beauty of Rob's face froze Sid's stream. I think.
Yeah, this is regular.
And which one is the other? I've never watched
and This is
SpongeBob,
handsome.
so I don't know.
This is the handsome
That's
Squidward.
a handsome.
Okay, so then yes. You think you have the handsome lips, but no.
I'm surprised you never watched SpongeBob. It's very like subversive and for
Yeah.
adults, you know.
I just missed the window of like people getting into it, I think.
I did
There's
too.
nothing
I went
back.
back and binged it all. It's
It's
really good.
worth it.
Oh my yes.
Yeah, it's
I
very,
don't
very fun.
regret that at all. I love
Okay.
watching. I go back and watch them again sometimes.
Wow.
There's definitely jokes in there for adults. Like,
I would say
It-
more
you know.
mostly that. I think
yeah,
it's like really kind of uniform level of humor. It's like every joke in the show almost works on both levels. So it's not like they throw in things for adults. It's like all the kids' jokes also
Yeah,
have
they're good
some kind of
jokes.
double
Yeah.
entendre meaning.
Okay.
Speaking of double entendres, Vince Neil.
Oh no.
Well, I wanted to talk about this Vince Neil interview. There's this new interview he did on a channel called Outsider. I've never heard of this channel, but I guess it's about being an outdoorsman.
A
Oh, no.
channel, like a YouTube channel or an
A
over
YouTube channel, yes,
Okay.
yes. And it's like these two dorks is harsh too harsh of a term to describe them,
But you just
two,
used
two
I get the
lamos,
it.
That's much better.
Two cucks.
two
People
herbs.
describe themselves as dorks, but I don't think they've ever called themselves lamos.
Yeah.
Flatteringly.
I probably called myself a lamo.
Did you say herb, Rob? I love that.
Yes. Yes.
We-
I
let's
want
run
to.
that
I want to
fashion.
bring it back. I feel
Yeah.
like not enough
That's
people
one of
use
the
it.
more disappointing things as I get older. I wish herb had more
Same.
enduring longevity.
100%.
Anytime I feel like a kinship when any celebrity or whatever uses it as an insult lately, I'm like, yeah, this guy knows what's up. That's a burn.
Is that a New York thing, herb? Because I know that
I
came
think
from
so.
it came from the Burger King. Remember Burger King had a nationwide campaign called "I'm Not Herb." They had this guy who was like a nerd, like a jerk, like a middle-aged schlub, and he would go around to every Burger King. And if you ran into Herb and you took a photo with Herb, you won like $1 million or
I don't.
something.
Let's see.
Or
Darren,
lifetime.
you just shattered my fucking
At this
world. And
time,
after we watch this, I'll
Burger
explain
King
why.
begins a nationwide search for one man. His name is Herb. We don't know much about Herb, only what his friends tell us.
Herb was unusual. Herb was different.
What his parents tell us.
Herb was never what you'd call
Normal.
His former teacher.
You had to know how to talk to him. Herbert, pay attention.
This is the best picture of Herb we have. We do know Herb is the one man who's never tasted a Burger King burger. Herb has never enjoyed this juice, this sizzling beef, or grown to love flame broiling instead of frying.
Grow up, Herb.
Herb has never enjoyed the Whopper, the taste millions and millions of people crave. So Herb, wherever you are, stay tuned and start
is a pretty
asking
shitty
yourself
ad.
this crucial question. Aren't you hungry for Burger King, Herb?
Well, now this was an old
Herb.
I'm gonna put a YouTube link in our chat right now for Rob to share. Let me give the backstory on this. So, Darren, I had a completely different origin story for Herb being an insult, and it's from a different commercial from the same fucking era.
Wow.
There was a Yellow Pages commercial in this same era, and they had a series of commercials where they would it would be like, if you look up this term in the Yellow Pages, and it'd be like some funny take on what you could find, right? And so this one was for the word herbs. And in the commercial, just a bunch of guys named Herb hanging out. And that's what I thought. Why are there two different ad campaigns about Herb at the same era?
Have you met Herb Grant? Herb Grant, Tacoma. Herb's in the plumbing business.
I remember this.
Backed up. Herb, you know these bums? Herb Riddick, Herb Kaplan.
These
Hi.
bums. That's another
Wife and
great
kids are good.
classic
Herb Junior's
insult.
almost 12. Whoa, next thing you know, there'll be a Herbert Junior.
If it's out there, it's in here. The 9X Yellow Pages. Why would anyone need another?
No. R.I.P. 9X.
It could be either. I can see
That's
that point. That
Fucking amazing.
or
I've
maybe
never seen the Burger King one.
maybe a confluence of, but they showed Herb in those later Burger King. Like there was a whole
Wow.
campaign, so you saw his face because you had to know who to like look for or whatever.
Sometime soon, this man could walk into your life
wild.
and
There
make
he is.
you a millionaire. This man is Herb. Now that Herb loves the Whopper, he's visiting a Burger King in every state. Study the Herb poster, because the first person to spot Herb in each restaurant wins $5,000, and everybody there gets a chance at $1 million and a free Whopper and Pepsi. Spot Herb
They
at
had
Burger
like
King
drawing
and win
all the people that
$5,000
won.
and a chance.
And all the people that got the
Yeah.
$5,000 had a chance to win $1 million. But yeah,
Wow.
I can, Sid, you're definitely right. That seems like just as likely to be the origin, or maybe both airing together made Herb into a joke. You know?
And
And
just
like
both
maybe it
featured
started
corny
getting-
white dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just started being like exactly like, oh, corny white dude, and then people started using it derogatorily, probably in hip hop, I imagine.
Yeah.
In like,
But I do perceive it as like only a New York thing. I've only ever heard New York-based people say Herb.
Same.
So like that, even though that was a nationwide campaign, like this is like it just only became an insult here for whatever reason.
That's why sort of like I thought it was the Yellow Pages one, because I think that was a local New York
So maybe you're right. I could have been repeating a myth all this time, and
But
not knowing
honestly, like just the confluence of multiple herbs in pop culture at the time, I'm sure they both contributed. That's fucking
There's actually
crazy.
a whole
Is there a Wikipedia page?
Entry about the etymology of herb as an insult.
Oh, get out of here.
On Reddit, the use of herb as a popular insult in East Coast slang is from the sum of a couple of histories. The earliest example I could find for herb as a potential insult is from 1663.
What?
And has to do with the words natural association with youth, unripeness, and unreadiness. Since our harvest is but in the herb. Is the thing.
But like, when did it become popular in pop culture? Like for real?
Here
like,
we go.
is there
from
more
this
modern?
point until the modern era? If herb was used as an insult, it probably followed from these types of metaphors. While weak association, it gives insight to the broader meanings that herb comes to take in the 20th century. By 1925, the name Herbert, etymologically unrelated to herb, was already thought of as a generic name for odd generic person. A dictionary of sailor slang written that year defines Herbert as a funny fellow, also used colloquially in addressing any man whose name was unknown, from the typical Cockney pronunciation of the name Herbert. In the year 1929, we also see a sharp decline in the popularity of the name Herbert in America. This is almost certainly due to the huge unpopularity of President Herbert Hoover, who presided over the stock market crash, blah, 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 blah. The pejorative sense of Herbert is then swiftly crystallized and mass distributed in television, most notably through Burger King's 85 to 86 campaign, Where's Herb?, which fictionalized a nerd named Herb, is repeatedly chastised for being the only person in America not to have eaten at Burger King.
Wow.
The ad lost a ton of money for BK, but not before briefly dominating late 80s TV scene, including a SNL cold open parody, and making our critical switch from Herbert to Herb. The character himself is referenced in Public Enemy Signal.
Wow.
Don't believe the hype. Word to Herb, yo, if you can't swing this, learn the words, you might sing this. Given Public Enemy's massive influence along with the mass awareness of the ad, it's unsubscribing that Herb is then quickly adopted as an insult by other hip-hop artists, including on major tracks by Biggie, Nas, and Tupac. In this process, Herb is generalized, no longer direct reference to the BK ad, and takes on some of the earlier botanical shades of meaning. Slightness, weakness, tenderness, and youth.
So this gives credit to Darren's origin story.
Mm-hmm. And I guess it's Public Enemy that first really brought it into the insult vernacular. So, to that point, these two Herbs, Vince Neil, and it's a pretty fascinating video because Vince Neil is 50 times cooler than these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I would say even like used to be washed up Vince Neil is still cooler than random, like lots of random people. Just because what he could talk about, you know.
Right.
If he could get the words out.
That's true.
And even still, he kind of comes off in this way where he's trying to impress them. It's pretty fascinating to watch during this interview. Now, I want to tell you how much I love the Livecast Nation out there. I sat through this 1 hour interview with fucking Vince Neil and two Herbs.
How many fully formed words did Vince Neil say in an hour?
Well, keep cutting the wrong thing. We'll see, but I don't want to show too much of the video because I don't want it to get tagged. But I did, here we could see what they look like, so you get an idea. Oh, well, let me get a better shot of this other guy, so he's not just
two Herbs.
Picking his nose.
Who'd you go to? Do you remember the name of it?
So they asked him what school he went to, and this is what Vince looks like in this interview. Pretty all right.
For him, looks very normal.
Shirt looks clean.
No vomit.
Broadacres Elementary.
Okay, and then did you go to middle school and high school there as well?
What is this?
No, because it was.
It
cares.
They ask they kind of morph into Chris Farley interviewing Paul McCartney.
Who's your second grade teacher? What was her name?
Yeah.
Junior high school.
But listen to how crazy he gets.
the kids were throwing teachers off the second story windows, so
What?
off the balconies.
What?
Really?
It was a tough school.
Really? I doubles down. It was a tough school, man.
Might be just kidding.
And were they dying? The teachers?
No, they were just teachers. You know,
No, they have parachutes.
Wait, what?
Gave the wrong kid the wrong grade.
Yeah. So
The question was, were they dying? And he replied, no, they were just teachers.
I can
What?
You want me to translate this?
Yes,
from
please.
Vince Neil speak? Okay. He makes a hyperbole. He says, "Man, I was in this tough school. Man, they were throwing the teachers off the roof." Not literally, but he's so inarticulate you can't tell. Then the guy takes it literally, deservedly so, and goes, "Were they dying?" And then Vince Neil misinterprets that as the guy understood his hyperbole and says, like, "No, they weren't dying from the kids being rowdy. They were just teachers. They were there to absorb. They know how to deal with kids."
Okay.
Do you agree with
I
that?
will
Probably, yeah.
accept this benefit of the doubt analysis.
I don't think that's benefit of the doubt. That makes Vince Neil look way worse, that he can't even get through 2 sentences without his meaning being clear.
I'm just saying, we're gonna need a lot of these translations.
Okay. Well, it's like the referee service. I'm here to translate for inarticulate, drunkard, ex-Zamboni drivers.
I'm gonna go to this school, so I used my aunt's address and went to West Covina. Well, Covina actually.
Now, how far was that from your house?
What?
Well, I ended up staying
Yeah,
there.
this is a California specific show.
I don't think so. No, I don't think this is a California. I don't think he lives in California now. I think he lives
How
somewhere
far
in
were you
Florida.
from the nearest In-N-Out burger?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying because they're asking him like California specific questions.
No, it's
maybe
just that
they're.
No.
So my parents moved, and it was about, I don't know, about an hour away.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Were you into music at a young age? Did you play sports? Anything else?
Nah, I mean, in that school, I listened to a lot of Motown. You know, that was like the big, that's what everybody was listening to. So Motown was my thing. Yeah.
Any run-ins with gangs or anything like that as a young age in that neighborhood?
Yeah, the gangs are throwing people off the roof, man.
The
you ever have a fight with Corn
and
Pop?
the Bloods.
Hold on.
Oh, he was in the
So I got the
Crips.
Cribs and the Bloods.
I was in
both
both the
run-ins
Crips
with
and the
gangs
Bloods.
or anything like that as a young age in that neighborhood?
Yeah. The Crips and the Bloods were just starting out, and another group called the AC Doocies. But I was the best friend. My best friend, his name was Paul Artique. I remember his name.
Kind of like a 50s musical.
His big brother is one of the founders of the Crips.
Imagine like
So
there's like a big gang like meetup, and the Crips
It's
show
like
up, and the
that
Bloods
scene in
show up,
Anchorman.
and then the AC Doocy show up doing the fucking West Side Story finger snaps. Like their leather jackets and poodle skirts.
Bloods,
Like the
Crips,
AC
we don't
Doocy.
care. But Vince Neil, come on.
AC/DC is in fact a club in Queens. But go ahead.
Oh well.
When were the Bloods and the Crips formed? Because I feel like Vince Neil is like 80. He wasn't around like when the first. He was like 35 when the first Bloods and Crips showed up.
Crips 1969,
Okay.
Bloods 1972.
All right, I guess he was around. Well, no, he'd still be an older man, wouldn't he? Like,
He was born in 61.
okay, I thought he was born a little earlier than that. Never mind.
So I guess it
So
checks
was-
out.
That's fair.
don't mess
good
with
friend to have.
my little brother's white friend.
So you were a Crip then.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's crippled now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now, what I'm picturing in my head might not be accurate, but I'm picturing like it's tough to go outside. There's quite a bit of violence. You just kind of keep to your own at nighttime. Is that accurate, or could you go to the
Training
park
teachers.
with friends and play and things?
He was a
like
Crip. He could do whatever he wanted.
yeah. It was what me and my friends would do. We would play army. There's a lot of construction going on,
that?
and with BB guns.
Yep.
And shoot each other.
I
It was,
I also did that.
It was
And
cool.
then here's a Vince talking about love and have a little fist fight.
Resonate with wholeheartedly, and that is you're no stranger to a fist fight.
A what?
No stranger to a fist fight.
Yeah.
Sam's been in a few fights.
I've been in a couple of them.
That was fun back then, though.
I agree. They're a lot of fun.
No, we just like
yeah, somebody say something on stage, you know, whatever, you such and such.
You can do it. You can do it back then.
I'd jump in the audience.
I hate being called as such and such.
So,
better or worse than being called an AC/DC?
He was driving his go-kart with his friend in the passenger seat and ran into a wall and killed him.
You slot at the YNT at the Starwood, and you're on stage, and someone spits at you.
Yeah.
Could you walk me through that incident over the course of the next 48 hours when you played there the next night? That YNT came on stage, and the crowd kind of dampered. Since you guys went from being the Outlaws to being the star of the show, kind of there in a 48-hour period.
I remember the guy spitting, and I jumped in the crowd. Nikki followed me, and Tommy jumped over his drums, and it was like a brouhaha, you know.
Nick couldn't move.
Were the AC Deuces there for the brouhaha or no?
A brouhaha. A brouhaha.
You guys just waiting outside
out of the guys?
your six brawl.
I started singing.
We just, fought a little bit, and then security kicked him out.
Just a little bit.
Show goes on.
A little bit.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
little bit.
We finished the set.
And then again the next night, you had a bigger crowd.
Yeah, yeah. Word of mouth.
So, what was at that stage, in your guys' careers, 1981, early 1981? Did you guys all live together at this point?
Man, if only there was a book about all of this that this guy could have read before the interview.
Dude, it's so crazy. And he's like, dude, I love your rock star life. Tell me what drugs you were doing. It's like
Coke.
Was cocaine the drug of choice back
Who
then?
are guys, these hosts? What's their
And just alcohol.
deal?
They just have a show called Outsider.
Outsider Herbs.
Yeah.
That outsider.com is the website. I guess it's a store for like outdoor stuff. Like
So what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. Maybe he's endorsed by them or some shit.
Maybe they sell
Alcohol,
Zambonis.
cocaine, anything else in the mix at that point in time? Shrooms,
Or
maybe?
canoe.
Not for me.
Shrooms.
So Nikki started on his heroin.
Yep.
And Tommy was right with him too.
There's a
Was
fucking
that
movie about
difficult to
this.
deal
Yeah.
with as a band member?
You don't
or
have to-
anything
you don't
like
even have
that,
to
or did they just
read.
push
There's
through
a
it to
behind the
show up
music, there's a movie, there's a
I did
book,
it once.
like anything you want, it exists already. Like it's out there, man. This info is all out there.
Yeah, I mean, we're making fun of it, but seriously, like when you get a big X star, but he's still a big star. It's bad form to not know the oeuvre of his life and everything.
But then also to make your entire interview with him that bad form. Like
you're
that's the
supposed to come
entirety.
up with interesting questions like that no one's delved into before. And you might be hit or miss on. Maybe you come up with a shitty question. That's fine, but you're supposed to try at least to just ask him shit that everyone knows already.
So Rob, you went through this whole thing. Do they ever get to actual basic Wikipedia entry questions, or is this it?
This is it.
Wow.
But there's some fun stuff he reveals.
Oh,
Like, for example, he talks about the Ozzy tour a little bit.
okay. What drugs was
Yeah,
Ozzy?
it was.
I feel like I'd be a hell of a rock star. I don't know if I could handle it though.
I think that
You could sing better than Vince Neil.
I don't think you could
Try it.
have Vince's longevity.
I mean, you're doing great. So,
That's-
the
citation
Barton movie
needed.
tour,
Yeah,
that
he's
is-
on
was
this
that the pinnacle of your
your
guys'
show.
career?
So how great can he be doing?
He's doing a dollarbank.com, whatever the fuck that shit was. What was that called again? Dollar Arena, dollar something.
It was like some payday loan kind of place.
Yeah, I can't remember something with dollar in it.
Partying, or is that just another tour?
Oh, just another tour.
Really?
But for Ozzy, Ozzy would ride on the bus
DLC
with
loan
us,
approval.
when Sharon wasn't there. Yeah.
Dollar loan.
Ozzy would ride on the bus, but Sharon wasn't there. He said.
So when Sharon was gone, well, when she was there, we called it No Fun Tour.
Stop doing the drugs, Motley Crue! Leave my husband Ozzy out of this!
Ozzy, you left on the bus without
Had t-shirts made up.
Red Boston!
Big,
I picture
smiley
him
face with
chasing
bullet
the
holes.
bus like rerun chases the pickup truck. In what's that? The intro.
Don't you do those drugs, Ozzy!
You know, I'm loath to defend Sharon Osbourne, but with all these stupid fucking dummies like running around doing drugs, pulling their pants down, shitting places, you know,
Killing people,
throwing teachers off the balcony. I feel like you need someone there to tell them, like, can you just fucking stop and behave like a human being? Now, maybe Sharon Osbourne is not the best person to do that, but you know, they're mocking the concept of having an orderly person around.
Yeah,
like, you kind of need that, buddy.
For Ozzy, you know, Ozzy would ride on the bus with us when Sharon wasn't there. Yeah. So when Sharon was gone, well, when she was there, we called it No Fun Tour. You know, we had T-shirts made up with a big,
No, they call it the
smiley face
Stop
with bullet
Raping
holes.
People tour.
Yeah.
We called it, we're actually on the clock here tour.
Yeah.
We're working right now
It's
tour.
80 minutes past time you're supposed to be on the stage tour. Get the fuck up there. That's what it's called.
The wait, we don't get to snort lines of broken glass tour? Come on.
Bullet holes in it, and the back of the shirt had a circle with a line through it and said sex, drugs, beer, girls that were not allowed.
There will be no sex, no drugs, no beers, no girls. Get on stage, Motley Crue.
Doesn't the sex and the girls sort of cover the same thing? They needed that twice.
Yeah.
Or were they fucking each other and then also girls, and that's why it had to be separate entries?
Yeah,
Did we
they don't
learn
just have
something
sex
real?
with girls.
No t-shirts mocking the things that I keep telling you not to do.
Unless she gets a cut of the merch profits.
Yes, it's fine.
She sued Vince Neil because he made those shirts without her consent.
I love money. money, more money, please.
Not allowed, because when she was there, she would just give us a case of beer.
Oh, really?
And not let any girls backstage. When Ozzy was by,
There will be no knick-knacking while you're backstage. You will take this case of Bud and like it.
Because we are sponsored by Bud.
All security on the
Was
tour
by
was
himself.
run by the AC-Deuces.
no,
Put away.
That's when he'd-
put away the six pack.
he'd ride on the bus with us constantly.
Yeah. Did he have his own bus and he just hopped
Oh,
on
he
yours?
had several buses. You know, it went
Did he have his own bus? Like what? They're opening for him, and they have a bus. Figure it out. What a fucking dumb question. Jesus.
Ozzy
fucking
rented a
Christ.
van and loaded all his amps into the back of it by himself.
on for the crew, his own bus,
Mhm.
but he never rode on his bus when she was gone. He rode with us. I mean, he would come out and he would have Sharon's wig on and her dress, and it was.
I'm Sharon Osbourne. You can't have any girls.
Are we sure that wasn't just Sharon?
All right. Are we sure Ozzy's just not a secret cross dresser and he was so fucked up that he came out of the dressing room by accident with the dress on?
By the way, I do want to point out, I don't think Sharon has really been public about the fact that she wears wigs.
That's
like
he outed her as a wig wearer.
Especially 30 years ago.
Well,
or
maybe
40
does she
years
still
ago
wear
now.
them? Maybe that was
Well, I
just
would think
then.
now she would be more pro. She just survived cancer, so wouldn't
gonna
it be
say,
more likely to
I
wear
was-
wigs?
maybe she had wigs from cancer, but
Yeah, why was she wearing them then?
maybe stylish wigs. Not
It was
so much
pretty
like
funny.
the
He was a
hair loss.
madman back then.
I imagine this life, like I could picture this in my head, feel like I'm almost there, right? I imagine this life.
Is he
like,
jerking off right
the
now?
only thing I can relate
Little
it to is
spank
maybe
face.
like Buds, where the
Here's
I'm,
the
al-
visual.
I'm almost there. Talk slower, Vince.
Is that John Krasinski?
Yes.
He's as boring as John Krasinski.
instructors and people around you just stretch you so thin to see how
Oh.
far you can go.
Rob, you ever
And I
stretched someone so
imagine that
thin?
Same analogy with just partying, drugs, women, and everything in your guys' life. Was there a point where you just throttled back and it went from recreational to like almost not fun?
Again, if only he had written a book about this.
Oh yeah, like
The entire third act of that movie.
First of all, what a dumb question.
Right.
But Leave it to Vince Neil
Oh boy.
to give a dumb answer.
No, it was always fun.
My man.
Yeah.
that's what I picture in my head.
Yeah, no, we had a blast until like 86. Or well, I got the car accident in 84.
So wait.
So it only got
the question
that 2
was,
years
did it
after
ever
the-
stop being fun? And he said, no, it was always fun, except for the last 40 years. What?
And then but I love no, it was always fun. Except for 2 years after the car accident. When the car accident happened, it wasn't so bad, but it was when he had to do his time for the car accident. That's when it stopped being fun.
So I'd stopped everything then, but that only lasted for a short while because I was tested all the time, and so we had our plane, and they would, hey Vince, can you pass this up? There's a tray of Coke. Pass it to the next guy, and I'm drinking water. Yeah.
I don't know if I could pass that tray, and I mean, you're a rock star. You gotta dabble.
Yeah.
Were you guys headlining at that point?
Yeah. And then it came to a head in 86, 87, when Nikki OD'd on heroin.
Yeah.
And I heard on the I'm sitting in my house and I hear it on the radio. Nikki Sixx just passed away today, and I'm like, what?
Really? You heard it on the radio?
Yeah.
Wow.
Again,
and, that's when the song "Kickstart My Heart" came because they.
This is the only time they mention he mentions Mick Mars. On the show.
Yeah.
Oh, just living life.
You don't want to think about it because he's going through so many struggles.
Of Motley Crue.
It's depressing.
So, question is, who is the wildest member of Motley Crue?
As far as drugs,
just the hardest to contain, I would say.
Tommy.
Yeah, I guess you can use drugs as a metric.
I don't know. Everybody had their own thing.
Yeah.
Like Mick would have this thing he called gator juice or something like that. He'd take a big, like a Slurpee cup. He'd fill it to the top with vodka and a little splash of ginger ale or something. And he would be on his amp. And I mean, he was out there.
Now he chugs bone marrow.
I remember we were on stage and Mick came out on stage, had a blow-up doll taped to his back, and he's playing with the blow-up doll behind him.
As rock stars, you just keep up in the ante, I feel like.
I mean, I think it has to turn into a challenge, right? Like I do something crazy, or I do this amount of drugs or whatever, then you're going to try to one-up me with some sort of antics, number of girls, whatever it may be.
It's exactly this way on the Vampire Weekend tours, too.
I read the movie. Wow. I read the book, The Dirt, I think like 06.
Oh,
and that started my...
I
read the movie. Wow.
He said I read the movie.
Read the book, The Dirt.
Oh, boy.
I think like 06.
Maybe that's why he didn't know
started
anything that happened. He was reading it as if it was characters on a page. I heard, I don't know if this is true, Rob. Their next guest is going to be Andy McCoy, and he's trying to get camping tips to live outside Vince Neil's house so he can stalk
I mean,
him.
he's already living there. He just needs to know how to finally set that tent up so he's not getting rained on all the time.
I want to know what is the best tent to live outside the Vince Neil house.
I love how quickly it turned into Iron Sheik.
No, I was trying to do the Iron Sheik because that's what he sounds like to me.
I feel like the first half of the first sentence was Andy McCoy, and then you took a left turn.
I went to the Columbia University because I see all of the tents, and they're all protest to Vince Neil because he killed us.
Andy McCoy is one of the outside agitators. Here to hear first.
They called me the anti-Semitic. I love the Jewish people. I love the Jewish people. But the Vince Neil, he's a no good piece of shit. I hate the Vince Neil.
We love you, Andy McCoy. We miss your interviews. We need you to do more press, please. We'd really love that.
That's
Bless
a real
his heart.
outsider.
There's one more clip from this Vince Neil thing I wanted to play before we wrap this up.
During Tommy's drum solo, see, how we started the show, we were underneath the stage and we'd have these things shoot us up in the middle of the stage. And so there's a
heroin
area under the stage where you could hang out.
Sure.
And
not heroin.
Me and Nikki, we built a built a box and filled it with kitty litter. And the guys would go get girls for us. And so if you wanted to join the kitty club,
Go on.
We'd make them squat and piss in the kitty litter. And
hold on.
And they'd make us come. And in your hand, they have to lick it off your hand and say meow.
That's some of the most rock star shit I've ever heard. I mean,
those girls are somebody's grandmother right now. You know?
That's somebody's grandmother right now. It's the most rock star shit ever. That's gross. Ew.
Wait, so the girl had to piss in a litter box.
Yes.
And then jerk them off and lick the cum off of their hand.
Yeah. Like the second part seems way less gross than the first part.
Yeah, well, I don't understand the need for the first part.
Yeah.
But all right. What was that, Darren?
They want to just degrade these women that show
Yeah.
up.
These grandmothers.
Well,
the
now
the legend asks, who is Vince Neil?
Good question. You're better off not knowing.
He's the frontman of Motley Crue. Which one of you is Vince Neil? Follow-up question. Which one of us is most like Vince Neil?
Huh.
Sid never goes.
I've gotten arrested.
Yeah. Well, so is Darren.
Thanks to Rob.
Huh. That's tough.
I got arrested before that too.
I'm going to give it to Rob. Rob is the Vince Neil.
Yeah.
I've done the
you're
most
too
drugs.
orderly. You're too respectful. Rob don't give a shit. Rob would definitely crash a car with one of us in it, and we die, and he's just like back to normal the next day.
Yeah. He'd feel a little remorse, but well, they're gone.
How long do you want me to mourn? The rest of my life, Rob? It's been 3 days.
Yeah.
That would be the situation.
Oh.
Another Vince Neil question from the legend. So you hang with Vince and he's not there? Vince is the fourth mic, I guess.
Vince is out driving a Zamboni right now.
Vince is our Elijah. We leave one chair open in case he appears.
What is that avatar that he's using there? Is that like Devo, but it's it's like a D guy with a Devo hat, but then
Rob, enhance.
I can't.
He's like someone in colonial garb. I can't tell what.
But he's got a Devo hat on at the same time.
All right. Well, if you know who Devo is, then you know who Kevin Brennan. He says, "I don't know what that is. Isn't that Neil Brennan's brother?"
I don't know. Vince Neil. All wrapping back to Vince Neil.
Whipping Ray DeVito. All right. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
We gave it a chance.
Yeah.
It fizzled out.
But all right. Thank you for joining us, The Legend. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask.
And check out our archives.
Yeah.
You might find a love for this show. As many people have.
Keep listening until one of us admits to being Vince Neil.
You may be waiting a long time.
Yeah, done. No spoilers.
Sorry.
What else we got, Robert?
Well, keeping with iconoclasts of the show, I want to mention Hulk Hogan was on the 700 Club.
Oh, boy.
I wanted to play this teaser. Because just the teaser alone is just phenomenal.
Just the tip.
Here we go.
Uh-oh. He's cutting a promo, if you can't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm all pumped up, maniacs. Hulk Hogan here, and I just spent the afternoon with the 700 Club. You know, things are really starting to roll around this place, brother. We talked about spiritual healing, bringing the land, bringing the people back together, and it only happens through our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So,
by the way, do you see? I want to point out his shirt. It says John 3:16, and then in the middle,
Hulk Hogan logo.
It's a HH, and the H's are connected.
Like
HH being
crosses?
Hulk Hogan, and yes, the middle line is a cross.
He has his own religious Hulkster merch.
I love, and then there's another cross right under it.
And I love also the matching color bandana that he's wearing to go with
Of course.
How about the beginning of this where he goes like, things are really starting to roll around here. The 700 Club that's been on TV since like 1950.
Well, now that he's got this youthful injection of Hulk Hogan's energy into their staid, old-fashioned club.
I mean, compared to that show, he is youthful.
He's going to make it the 769 Club, if you know what I'm saying.
So what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan, the 700 Club, and our Lord and Savior run wild on you, brother?
Oh my God!
Can't believe you used that line.
700 Club is the average age of the watcher that's sitting at home.
And he did a whole. They did a whole 10-minute interview.
Oof.
Can't wait for that. That sounds great.
Let's see, I think it's up. It's up. I guess we'll try to. We can try to do what we did with the Vince Neil thing.
Where we just listen to
gonna
the
watch
audio?
We're just going to watch the whole 11-minute clip.
Bunch of fucking clowns in costumes.
He's master of the grand entrance, whose presence still holds attention.
I want to point out they're at his bar in
God.
Florida as he's like making his entrance for that karaoke night or whatever.
Do they let anyone chat and cut in that bar?
Yeah. Only if you're one of the nasty boys.
Oh, okay.
By the way, the John 3:16 shirt we saw has a screen print on the sleeve that says Hulk Hogan. So fucking disgusting.
John 3:16 Hulk Hogan. For Hulk Hogan so loved the world.
Oh my God.
He gave his only begotten Hulk Hogan.
The video, by the way, if you want to search for this video, YouTube, Hulk Hogan pins down Faith.
Oh my God.
I don't think they say pins down in wrestling. I'm a pretty big wrestling fan. I've never heard that.
Dan in the chat writes, all those Jesus maniacs hanging from the rafters at the Silverdome, brother.
Yeah.
Man, I'm all pumped up, maniacs. Hulk Hogan here.
Terry Bollea made the name present with unmatched success and global recognition in sports entertainment. A larger-than-life icon that transcends wrestling, saving his biggest splash not far from his Clearwater.
Oh, what? You got baptized recently.
Yeah, I was going to guess that was the splash.
Oh, my goodness.
Beach store and restaurant. Public baptism.
Mm-hmm. Well, that wife really did a number on him.
Greatest moment of your life.
Yes, without a doubt.
Terry, what did that mean for you?
It broke down that.
If dick will make you smack somebody, pussy will make you get baptized.
My Lord and Savior.
It is really amazing how all these con artists, like how quickly they take to the Jesus con. You know, like he's
took
made
him 70 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, he always wore a cross. He always wore the cross though.
But he wasn't like super vocal about it, other than saying "say your prayers."
Agreed.
How you should look at things or how you should care for people and not judge people. And it set me free. It wasn't that perfect vessel that I should be or should have been. Once I was baptized.
Look at his post baptism titty hang.
How long before he starts going on talk shows and saying he was one of Jesus's apostles?
Oh my
God. Then he auditioned for Jesus. He auditioned for the three wise men.
I was the guy that rolled the rock out in front of the cave, brother. We found Jesus is gone, dude.
I tried to slam Goliath in front of 90,000 people, brother.
Baptized, I felt I was all anew.
I beat Samson in a hair versus hair match, dude.
It was so fun to be a part of Terry's baptism.
He invented
and
crucifixion,
to see the
and then
ripple
they
effect
took
that
it
has
away
made all
and
over the
killed
world.
his favorite person.
I had the first nail on wood match, brother.
him just a couple of minutes later. This is the way that Christians go public in their faith, and he felt it important to do what Christians do.
Hulk Hogan, what does the person of Jesus Christ, Terry, bring
Like
to
the
you?
Ultimate Warrior there for a second.
Hulk Hogan. God presence in us. You know, that still small voice. So what Terry brings to the table is a meat suit. You know,
Wait, I remember this. Hulk Hogan has a 9-inch penis, and Terry Bollea doesn't, right? That's from the court case.
That's the meat suit.
Terry Bollea has a smaller meat suit.
Filled with the Spirit of Christ, and it's a testing ground for me. I accepted Christ. As my
His
Savior
dick
when I
is
was
filled with the
14,
Spirit
but
of
he
Christ?
failed.
Is that what
It
you're
wasn't my
saying?
life. He has
Jesus is
given
in
me
you.
the opportunity.
Rob, do you want to
I'm
receive that
faithful,
spirit?
And I'll never
No, thanks.
make those same mistakes again.
You wouldn't
My
fuck
faith, the
Hulk Hogan
momentum
just
was
for the story?
overwhelming. There was
No.
nothing stopping
You're the
me.
top, though. You don't have
What
to.
became the most
No.
draining?
If
do what
you
he
were
thinks
at a
of
sauna and on the bench next to you was Hulk Hogan and he took his towel off and started jerking off, what would you do?
I'd watch.
I feel like I would fuck the analogous woman to Hulk Hogan.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you would fuck Hulk Hogan.
No, like
I'd fuck the Hulk Hogan.
I'm coming.
Yeah, Darren, if Hulk Hogan came to your apartment and was like, "I will let you top me right now," and while you're doing your Iron Sheik impression, cutting a promo on me.
It's just I don't know if I could get it up from man. That's the problem. Like
He-
for
we-
the
he-
story, I would.
He comes over with the Viagra, so you have
Yes.
you have chemical enhancement.
You got to be into it. Like I don't know. I feel like I would have fucked Fabulous Moolah like just at the same age. You know, it's not. I just feel like it's such an opportunity.
Yeah.
I would. My spirit
Hogan
would be in it. I would try to fuck Hulk Hogan. But I don't think it's just I'm heterosexual. I can't. Like, I'm not
That's
shaming
understandable.
anyone.
No, I didn't take it that way.
Plugging me where I like to see if I was getting approved after I slammed one guy and looked to the crowd. I guess I made a crazy face, but the look that I gave a better reaction than the wrestling move. I went, okay, they want to see me be a little goofy and have fun in here. And that character launched me into this crazy genre where they're all intertwined together.
I hear that so much.
You know, the character and the wrestling.
Why the demand for your brand?
I like that. Why the demand for my brand? I think it's generational trust because the parents and the grandparents all know who I am and the kids know who I am. But like in Mozambique and Zimbabwe and Malaysia.
Zimbabwe. I have generational trauma from Hulk Hogan. I don't have generational trust. Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan was the first council member of Zimbabwe. He wrote the charter for the independence charter.
He went there right after his trip to Yappy Pie.
I wanted to bias. I didn't want this to get too far away, but I have a kid in my class said pronounce genre as Gener, Gener.
Gener.
And this is the punchline. It's a genre class. It's a study of genres in film. Yeah.
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
taking a calculus class and saying Caculius.
Did we talk about the clip that went viral a couple weeks ago about some dude on TikTok mispronouncing Schweppes?
We didn't. I know of this. We
Rob?
didn't talk about it on the show.
We did not.
He said,
no, I tweeted
he said
it.
Shua Peepees.
Yeah.
I wonder how that guy says genre.
I'll cue that clip up. Here's a little more Hulk Hogan.
Tom Brady, but they know Hulk Hogan. You know, so it's kind of amazing how many homes I've been into around the world on a consistent basis every weekend for 40 plus years.
So Hulk Hogan has that Clearwater Beach store, restaurant. How do you manage the brand and Terry, all the while tending to the expectations of people?
Now, how do you think Jesus feels about branding? Do you think Jesus cares about how one of his followers manage their brand?
Well, he
I
had
don't
to
think so.
He had to approve that shirt, so he's the COO of Jesus.
Yeah,
stuff.
is the concept of a brand something Jesus would endorse?
Well, I mean, he had nails driven through his wrists. Like a brand probably doesn't hurt nearly as much.
Right.
I come home.
I don't know.
The headband comes off the bald head, and you know it's just Terry.
Is that the first time he admitted he was bald?
Friend. I have no wrestling pictures in my house. No
I
wrestling
think
belts.
when he
Just Terry. The problem is the moment.
That's because all the belts are in the fucking beach house, so you could make money off of
At the bar,
coming in there and at the bar, yeah.
Didn't he say that at his Hall of Fame induction or something? Like, I remember him going on a thing about being bald. He's like, you made this big bald man a superstar, and I thank you, like, to the fans or something. Just an old guy with a bald head. He said
before being a young guy with a bald head.
Right.
When I leave the house, the moment I walk out the front door, the world doesn't want Terry. The mailman goes, "Hey, Hulk." So instead of saying, "Good morning, sir," I go, "Hey, brother, how you doing?" I give him just a little, because they expect it. There are a lot of tributaries.
Well, most of those people probably don't know that your name is Terry.
Which I really appreciate.
And also,
value very much.
isn't that like, there's not much space there between what he just did and how he really talks. All he did was add a little, like, it's not like you're changing your whole fucking personality, bro. Just like,
and I'm sure most of the people that interact with him when he does that think, wow, that's sad that he still talks like that. Like, all I did was say hello.
You nailed it. They don't know his name, so they say Hulk Hogan. They're not asking. They don't know he's Terry Bollea, and they're not asking him to do a Hulk Hogan impression. They just think his fucking name is Hulk. Yeah. And then you go off on this promo. Like, that's a you problem.
Exactly. Oy. Now I want to go to his bar and say, "Hey, Terry, what's up?"
It's like Vince Neil. If people keep asking me to drive the Zamboni, man, and sing all my songs, I was like, no one's asking it for you. You remember that SNL sketch? It was like a 1920s party or something, and John Hamm was the host, and they have like they're having a dinner party, and Kristen Wiig comes in and she's like, "Oh, don't ask me to sing. Please don't ask me to sing."
Yeah.
And then all the guests are like, "We're not asking you to sing. Like, don't sing." That's Hulk Hogan talking to the mailman. Don't ask me to say brother. Okay, fine, I'll say it. I'm Hulk Hogan, brother.
And then he goes to his therapist and complains that everybody's forcing him to do this.
And the therapist goes, "Okay, Hulk." "No, don't do that, brother. Don't call me Hulk, brother. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. You sign your checks, Hulk Hogan." What do you want me to...
Literally don't know how to pronounce this word, but PepsiCo just officially recalled their sugar-free Shua Peepees ginger ale for
Shua Peepees.
How would you even arrive at that, even if you never encountered that word before? There's two options: Schweppes and Schweppies, to me, right? I mean,
well, maybe Schweeps, but yeah, not Shua Peepees. Definitely not
Shua peas. Peas. You could
it makes me think that he did this on purpose, knowing it would take off. Because
like the guy who mispronounced Suzuki. I think that's the new engagement bait: is you mispronounce something to go viral.
Rob, you missed your window. Like back in the day, it was like
I know, that's my bit.
Rob doesn't miss windows.
Oh, it took a second, but then I got it. It was great. It was worth it.
My mother used to call my cat's butthole the pink window.
Oh no! Oh my god! Wow.
It is so delicious.
Here's the Suzuki guy. The Suzuki guy mispronunciation. This is an edit of it with these Greek characters, but just this. So here's the original clip anyway.
With Tizaikai.
You got it. All right, back to a little bit more of Hulk.
Could that be an AI thing? Like the AI is reading it that way?
That's what I thought too.
No, this was a guy doing a voiceover. That's his channel.
Just a job, but I've learned to separate myself.
The single most memorable
Rob,
moment
when you have a minute
for you as a wrestler.
Can you generate an AI image of Anne Frank drinking some Schweppes?
And Tzatziki at the same time.
Oh no, that might be too sexual.
It had to do with after the match at Madison Square Garden, January 23rd, 1984, where I wrestled the Iron Sheik for the WWF title. Iran had 444 American hostages, and they were keeping our Americans. And the Iron Sheik, he was the
that is not the fucking true.
He was the real deal, and the fans knew it. And I was the all-American character, Hulk Hogan. That night, I flew my parents up and you know, my dad and I didn't see eye to eye because I was going to University of South Florida here in Tampa, and I was majoring in finance and management. But when I left college and didn't become an accountant or whatever that degree would lead me to, there was a huge divide as far as communication with my dad and I. You know, so it kind of was a void. And so that night after Madison Square Garden, you know, my dad goes, man, you know, Terry, I'm very proud of you. You made the right decision. I love you so much. I'm so sorry that I tried to make you do something you didn't want to do. So that was the greatest night for me.
Show proof.
For my dad to say that to me, because I really didn't know if I was right or not. It just, I was doing what I love doing.
Yeah.
And to me, that felt right. But then to have my dad confirm it, but I had to be the main event at Madison Square Garden to get him to break. But,
jerk
but
off,
that was probably the greatest part of my wrestling career.
He's already like international superstar at that point.
Yeah.
I don't care. I had to see it in person, son.
She likes it so much. What a delicious beverage for Anne Frank.
It's spelled Schweppes wrong too.
Well, it's the AI.
Well, Rob might have spelled it wrong.
I know.
No, I spelled it correctly.
Well, stop scrolling. So
Oh, yeah.
It's not even letters. I hate that. That really creeps me out. That AI botches the letters so much whenever there needs to be letters.
That'll be fixed soon enough.
It's just creepy. It's like these things
I
are
agree.
perfect, but like slightly off, a little drop.
Mm-hmm.
I really valued what he thought about me.
Well, anyway, I think
Rob,
we could play
one
more
more.
of this Hulk Hogan clip tomorrow.
Next
next week.
One last
What?
request.
Sure.
Hulk Hogan giving Anne Frank a leg drop.
Is she gonna be smiling? Because she's always smiling in these.
I feel like it's gonna be a weird not Hulkster leg drop, but like him actually just throwing a disembodied leg at her or something. I'm very excited for where this goes.
Can you put down that it's in the Pontiac Silverdome?
Oh my god.
Oh dear, I'm scared.
Oh no, I ran out of credit.
Oh, you only get 5 free ones a month or something?
Maybe I can get.
Use a different account.
Yeah.
We're out.
Use a different account. I'll put that on the
let me see if I
Patreon. If you want to see Anne Frank get leg dropped, go to patreon.com/
There's a lot of Anne Frank AI generations.
Really?
On our Patreon.
Oh, on ours.
Yeah.
I thought you meant there's like
In
you're looking at a
general.
gallery of what people have made. Or
It's a
something.
whole subreddit.
Anne Frank AI. r/Anne Frank AI.
Anne Frank gone wild.
Oh, I wasn't even going in that direction. Oh.
And it's just people having sex at the Anne Frank Museum. It's not actually Anne Frank.
And to the guy who was asking us Vince Neil questions in the chat, if you want to know why we're obsessing on Anne Frank AI pictures, go back a couple of months and start watching every episode. And you will find out. In our Patreon, I should say.
Yeah.
It's all on
man.
Patreon.
I think this might be the
know.
Only $5 a month. You can find out why we make Anne Frank pictures.
I don't know how it got here, but this is fucking weird.
I don't want to see it. I don't know.
It's not even Anne Frank.
And
I
it's
don't
not Hulk
know.
Hogan. That's superstar Billy Graham.
Is that like modern? It's like if Anne Frank and Tammy Wynette like grew into Tammy Wynette.
What is wrong with computing?
I love that we're actively making the internet worse.
We're making this shit work. It's got to learn.
Yeah.
Gotta learn. Before it can do thermonuclear war on its own, it's got to learn how to make Anne Frank pictures. It's a necessary step in the evolution.
Okay. I think we're getting closer with my new prompt, which is Hulk Hogan giving young Anne Frank a leg drop in the middle of the wrestling ring in the Pontiac Silverdome. Here are
That was the
some of
old
the
one.
results.
Is that Sonny Bono?
Yeah, I don't know this one.
She's got a singlet. Anne Frank has a singlet on.
She's trying to jerk him off.
Oh, this is terrible. Who's that guy with the fucking jacket?
Yeah, that's either Rob Reiner or Sonny Bono. I can't tell.
Both. They melded them together.
I love that Hulkster looks both younger and older at the same time. This is wild.
She's been doing the Ric Flair begging off, don't hit me.
I mean, yeah.
I don't trust her, brother.
She probably did that then too.
That's how she got out of the attic and became a wrestler. She sheep shotted them. Sheep shotted the Nazis.
Now I'm picturing like a Nazi soldier like chopping her and her like flipping over the banister and then like sort of duck walking as if it didn't hurt.
Are you typing that in now?
No.
And Frank getting chopped by a Nazi.
No more AI for
firewood. No, different shot.
Let's talk about our Spotify picks.
Oh,
good segue.
Every week we each pick a song. We throw it on a Spotify playlist. You can search for it. It's called the RIP Livecast Music Break. And we have 668 songs in there. Over 44 hours of music. I picked a new song from an artist called Omerta.
Oh.
Very nice. They're the hip new act that all the kids are talking about. They kind of sound like they listen to a lot of Mr. Bungle, System of a Down, and like new metal, and they watch a ton of anime. It's very modern, very all over the place, very controversial. Sid, I don't think you'll like it.
Yeah, no.
But I enjoyed it, and I think our listeners might be curious.
Do you know what an omerta is, Rob?
What is it?
That's like the mafia code where you're not supposed to rat on people.
Oh,
like
yes,
code of honor.
Yes. And so yeah, that's my pick. Sid, what did you pick?
Well, first of all, RIP this week in honor of those shots of Anne Frank is ridiculously inappropriate pictures. And so my pick, we on Patreon, on our Patreon, we have done both a roundtable discussion and a watch along of The Crow in recent weeks. And we talk about how great the soundtrack is. My favorite song on the soundtrack is the Nine Inch Nails cover of Joy Division's Dead Souls. And I thought, why not throw the original version on the playlist? So it's the Joy Division version of that song, which is also fucking great. Never loved the vocals, Joy Division, which is probably an unpopular opinion. It's very specific sounding. It sounds a little silly to me, the way he sings. And he's dead now, so I'm speaking a little RIP to him as well. But anyways, so I like the Nine Inch Nails vocals more, but the music is basically identical. Then it's fucking great. So still overall a thrash of a band, Joy Division. I know people needed my final approval of Joy Division before getting into them. So there
30
you go.
years later.
Darren, what's your pick?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I set the record for the longest song ever put on our playlist. I think I've set another record with the oldest song.
Oh.
The song is from 1931.
Oh, my God.
And it's by Harry Roy and his Bat Boys Club. I stumbled upon this song a little while ago. And it's called My Girl's Pussy. And it's one of those old-timey like songs, ragtime kind of song. And it's just a series of funny double entendres about like stroking his girl's pussy. It's about a cat. He's talking about a cat, but you know what he's really talking about. And there was a whole proliferation of those songs back in the 20s and 30s. It was like, kind of a subgenre, and these little records that would get released independently. This is really good, really funny, and really good. I love stuff like that. So, My Girl's Pussy.
Nice.
Hot. And of course, if you want to show your support, we'd always appreciate throwing a few bones in the tip jar. Our tip jar being, of course, our Patreon, patreon.com/RIPLivecast. $5 a month gets you access to 2 bonus episodes every single freaking month. And we just posted a brand new, hot off the presses, watch along, baby, of The Crow. As requested. You wanted us to torture ourselves by watching this movie again, this time together. You can watch along with us like we're on Mystery Science 3000, except it's us and you together watching this movie. And also recently, of course, every week Sid also has a TV column, tells you what he's watching. Get an exclusive peek behind the curtain. We have a watch along of a very long interview with Cosmo, the Queen of Melrose, bless her heart. Or his heart, really. And then we have a watch along of No Holds Barred. A watch along of, we have a sexual episode of links that are a little too hot for the YouTube show. That might get us banned off YouTube, so we saved them for this NC-17.
Yeah, if you want to know where
Livecast.
the Anne Frank photoshops come into play.
And believe me, the ones that we did behind the paywall, I'm far more embarrassed by.
You're not X-rated or anything.
No, but still inappropriate in different ways.
R-rated.
Yeah.
R-rated for sure. So that's our Patreon, patreon.com/RIPLivecast. Over 4 years of wonderful content. And, of course, if you want to throw us a few extra bones, you could be a top Livecast fan of the week. $10 a month gets you a shout-out at the end of the show, which is right now. And how are we doing these shout-outs, folks?
Each one of these people, you're going to say what the lady in front of Darren online texted her friend about them.
And what about, what does RIP stand for this week?
I said
what
ridiculously inappropriate pictures.
Oh.
Because I am Frank. Thanks for joining us, Rob.
Here I am. All right. Eric, the woman is texting that this guy is trying to write prescriptions behind me. Benjamin, this woman is texting that she really likes the deodorant that you're using.
Oh.
Dan R, the woman is texting that she can't believe this guy has such minimal body fat behind her and how attracted she is to him.
Wow.
Mindy Mayer's Kippa, she's texting if she wonders if this person stands with Hamas or not. Shasur Sasusits, this woman is texting that you have great hair. Lando Danks, this woman is texting, I would stop and chat with him anytime. Corey and Scotty H, this woman is texting, what wonderful young men. LaCroix, this woman is texting, oh, I would have a seltzer with him anytime. Erin, this woman is texting, who is this person? Why did they cut behind me in line? Douglas, who are you? Levison, this woman is texting, this person has no musical talent. Jander, this woman is texting. This woman is texting. This person seems like he knows way too much about 3 podcast hosts from Brooklyn who happen to be Jewish. And Randy Blad, this woman is texting, Pashola Nachoy. That's just for Sid. All right, folks, that's our show. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back next week. Until then, we love you. We kiss you. Bye-bye.
See ya.